extremely happy with our weekend and being able to get all 6 games that we've played against quality opponents. I feel that going back to Santa Clara last weekend and Southern Illinois this weekend, very well coached, tough outs. You know, they had some pitchers step up for them at the right time to keep them alive. We were very fortunate today, after getting some runs early. We had a bad 5th inning that was very close to being disastrous. We ended up, I think, that inning with 4 walks. They hit 4 or 5 balls on the screws, but the key was 3 outstanding defensive plays. Matthews tracks the ball down in right center. Jackie Jr. tracks one down that I thought was clearing the bases, and then Mooney makes a nice play with 2 outs to only limit them to 4 runs. So that was huge for us. They were going to tie it up or go ahead at that point, and then we were able to come back in and answer back a little bit and extend our lead. So it was a good win for us. Westmoreland pitched well early. The 5th inning wasn't quite as good. John Taylor was outstanding, 3rd appearance, I believe, on the weekend, and we needed for him to be good today, and he was.
Questions for Coach? Roger. Coach, do you know what happened to Adam when he just in that 5th inning?
I don't think anything necessarily happened. I think it's, one of the things you can say is, he pitched well, then he hit a wall. But that's the easy way out. I don't really think he hit a wall. He's in pretty good shape, and he didn't seem to be laboring. They hit a couple balls hard early, and then he just missed the zone on a few pitches. He was around the plate, but he missed. And so he got himself in a little bit of a pickle. And, we went to the bullpen. We feel like we got some guys that are capable down there, so we used him. But, he did okay. Just got himself in a jam that inning.
John got off to the slow start last year, then really came around and pitched well at the end. What sort of expectations did you have for him here first couple of weeks?
Well, I didn't really pinpoint anything in the early going here, but going into the season, the thing that I felt like was a constant is Mata and Taylor got to go out there 25 and 30 times apiece. That seems to be part of our formula. Based on what happened last year, that both of those guys, go 25 to 30 appearances, and he's pitched really well in the early going. So it's kind of like the hot hand guy. He's been able to locate. He's been able to move the ball in and out, get a ground ball. He needed a big play today from Jackie, but he threw strikes. He threw it in there and ended up with 5 touchdowns today. So he's been really good for us.
Things finally kind of fell for Mooney today. I assume you're happy to see that.
I was, and I think Mooney's already made an impact for us defensively in 6 games, and he's got great composure. I thought he hit the ball pretty well last weekend. Not to get too much to show for it. That's part of baseball. He hit it a lot better than his numbers indicated, and then it started to come back to him a little bit. He had a blue fall in there for him today. Great hustle getting the second, and the game evens out. Sometimes you get frustrated with it as a player, but you got to keep the faith that it'll all balance out for you if you keep playing it.
John told us yesterday, I believe, that he had changed his arm angle a little bit from last year. How much does that help, and who really helped him do it? Was it Coach Myers who sort of saw that he wasn't doing proper arm angle?
I don't know. I don't get in the way too much down there with those pitchers, and I defer. We got Coach Myers running the show, and he seems to be a little bit more crisp than he was. I think his velocity is a little bit better, maybe because of the arm angle, but they've had a good rapport already, and Coach Myers has always had great relationships with his pitchers, but that's been a good situation for John Taylor so far, and he's been outstanding.
Is Adrian sort of a forgotten guy in the lineup when you have Christian and Jackie and Adams and all the other guys? Sounds like appears like maybe pitchers don't focus on him as much as some of the other guys.
Well, for me, he's not forgotten.
No.
He's a guy for me that if I got 2 outs, I like to see him come to the plate, especially in that situation, because he's going to give you a competitive at bat. But you're talking about some outstanding players, and he might not fit that prototype, but he's a very, very good player. Made a great defensive play on a bad hop. He got a grounder latter part of the game and ended up making a a difficult play on the tough hop over there, but he's a clutch player for us.
Did you maybe move Mooney down today so you could see more fastballs? Do you think maybe it's a spot that he might be in going forward? Or?
You know what? I didn't really put that much thought into it. I more so than that, I want to get Marzilli going, and he's a guy for us. And I wanted to get him going, and you know, he was leading off for us late in the year, a good base runner, had some quality at bats, and you know, a little bit more progress today. But I'm not worried so much about Mooney as I am about Marzilli. I want to get him cranked up, and Adam's been pretty good at the top of the order, so that's why I did that. And you know, Wingo's got himself in a little bit of a pickle already. He's hooking some balls and not staying through it, not using the other side of the field. That he'll get it figured out. He's a veteran player.
Roger.
Coach, you're developing a nice problem to have. You mentioned a little bit with Jake Williams yesterday. It's getting worse today. You just keep playing it by ear, day by day, so everyone gets their bats.
Well, I don't worry too much about guys getting their at bats. I worry about winning, and you're gonna play the guys that help you win. And I think that we've got a couple of guys now that are sitting on the bench that wish they would get more opportunities. And I made it a point today to let them know that my priority is not them. My priority is winning, and that needs to be their priority. And it hasn't been an issue, but that's the way it goes. And we've got some leaders on this team that will take care of that situation. But when guys like Jake Williams force us to play him, that's fine. And he got two knocks the other way today. He's the other side of the field. He'll give you a competitive at bat, so he's going to get his opportunities. But I thought he would going into the season.
But does it get, you would Evan in left field, and you got the catchers that are also DHing and Jake DHing, and
Yeah, it gets.
you feel like it's unfair sometimes?
There's not enough, maybe not enough opportunities for some guys, just like Tuesday's game. I mean, we need to catch Barry on Tuesday. We need to continue to get him reps behind the plate. And Jake needs to be in the lineup. Brady Thomas needs to be in the lineup. Well, you can't get them all in there. So that's something we have to deal with.
Based on what you just described, is there such thing as having too many good players?
I don't think that's the case. I don't think we're at that point, but it's nice to be able to have some decisions. I like that. Sometimes you have teams where you really don't have moves, you don't have things you can do. And, you know, Deshaun Anderson's back on the field. He'll start swinging this week. Harrington's swinging again, not ready to throw. Payne has made a lot of progress as a freshman. Jake Watson needs to get some time as a young infielder. So there's some other guys that are going to try to push to get some appearances here and there. But those older guys are going to be the guys up front.
And the questions for Coach Tanner. All right, thank you all, everyone.